The number one exercise to be able to lose your belly fat. The exercise I'm going to mention here has been proven by science to be the easiest and the simplest exercise to do to be able to get rid of all of your belly fat. Not only that, it will be the insurance policy to keep that belly fat gone for the rest of your life. I say that because it's been the number one thing I've done over my last 10 years that has helped me lose all of my belly fat, going from 30% body fat to even becoming a men's physique pro as a medical doctor. Not only that, this one simple exercise has been what helped my client Wayne lose 53 pounds. It's exactly what Corey used to lose his 39 pounds in 16 weeks, going from 27% body fat to 7%, and he was even eating cheesecake. My client Nicholas, in 4 weeks, lost all of his belly fat utilizing this one exercise. Shannon saw the same results. Avlance, Gary as a firefighter, the busiest people I have ever met, utilized this same exercise to be able to lose their belly fat. Without further ado, I'm going to explain why it's the number one exercise, and I'm also going to show you how you can implement this within your life and making it super easy. So I highly recommend you watch the video till the end, because it will be what makes the difference between you having that belly fat and not. Now, 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories, and from this point forward, this will be a mathematics game. We know that to be able to burn up 1 entire pound of fat, that's going to require 3,500 calories. And this is exactly why we say you need to be in a caloric deficit of 500 calories daily to be able to lose 1 pound of fat. If you want to lose 2 pounds of fat in a week, that's going to be of a caloric deficit of 7,000. With that being said, the number one exercise is walking. Now, you may be asking, Dr. Mike, why? Research has consistently shown that walking taps mainly into fat stores compared to carbohydrates, and it's been shown across the entire board. Now, in the previous video, I showed you this entire chart ranging from different heart rates and how much fat is burned per minute compared to carbohydrates. And we established that this fat burning zone is between 120 to 140 beats per minute, which is a brisk walk range. So now that we understand that is the pace that we need to be at to maximize fat loss, and in that video I also gave you an entire 16-week routine to follow, the main comment I saw was a comment about, Dr. Mike, I cannot do this because I am so busy, I don't have time, I have so many other things to do. But the truth is about time is that in this world we all have 24 hours. What is important is what we prioritize, and if it's important to us, and if we will make time for it. With that being said, in this video I'm going to show you the 10 simple steps that I share with all my clients that make time a non-factor. It takes away that equation, and it allows you to find intelligent ways to be able to hit those steps to be able to burn fat. Now, depending on your weight and height, it is shown that 10,000 steps will roughly burn 250 calories. So in a week, if you walk 10,000 steps, that's 70,000 steps in total, you will burn 1,750 calories, which is equivalent to half a pound. And in a month, that you'll burn an extra 2 pounds. And if you even go as high as 20,000 steps, which I currently have a client of mine, Joe, doing at this very minute, he has lost over 20 pounds with me in 8 weeks doing this. So if you just think about it, all you need to do is make an investment of 20,000 steps and lose that amount of weight in 8 weeks. Would you do it? The answer is probably yes, if it's going to extend your life by an extra 10 to 20 years. So let's not waste any time. Let me share with you how I get my clients to walk 10 to 20,000 steps very, very easily. Number one, it's easy mathematics. We know that 10 minutes of walking will give you 1,000 steps, or 5 minutes of walking will give you 500 steps, or 1 minute of walking will give you 100 steps. With that being said, if you're working a 9 to 5 and you're working for 12 hours, all you need to do is to stand up for the last 5 minutes of every hour for the next 12 hours, and that is equivalent to 60 minutes in total, which consequently will give you 6,000 steps. Research has even shown that it's actually bad for your lower back, it's bad for your posture, and it will improve your cognitive ability if you actually get up and move around, so that you can improve your blood flow, you can burn more calories, and then you can go back into full focus. So you'll be able to get 6,000 steps by just standing up for the 5 minutes of every hour. So at 8:55, 9:55, and so on. And if you want to be able to just get 12,000 steps effortlessly, all you need to do is to stand up and walk for 10 minutes within the hour. And you will see at the end of the day, you'll have 12,000 steps by not even leaving your work workplace. And that's all you have to do. Again, you can manipulate this rule to whichever format, but this just allows you to bring this idea to a higher level of consciousness. So when I've shared this with my doctors, my engineers, everybody that I've ever worked with, even my computer guys who sit at a table, they get their 10,000 steps very easily, and it actually gives them the opportunity to get to 20,000. Let's move on into tip number 2. Now, you're going to be working out for a minimum of 3 times per week to a maximum of 6 times per week. Now, depending on the range, let's assume that you're working out 5 times in a week. Every workout will usually have about a 1 hour worth of working out. And in that time, you're either doing one set of an exercise or you're resting for a minute. And in every science-based training protocol, and very likely yours, there's about 20 to 21 sets of exercise throughout the entire program. With that being said, for every set you do, you need to take 1 to 2 minutes break. Let's assume you're only taking a 1-minute break. Instead of being on your phone texting, or just sitting around or having a fat conversation, what I highly recommend you do is walk during that time. Use that moment as active recovery. If you walk between each set 20 times, you will see that during your workout, you will get an extra 2,000 steps. So let's imagine you did your 9 to 5 and you did 5 minutes of walking in the 12 hours. And then you just walked between every set. That's already 8,000 steps. And already you start to realize hitting 10,000 steps is effortless. Now, moving on, the third tip. Before you work out, a strong recommendation is that you actually do a warm-up. And the best warm-up and the easiest warm-up I can advise is actually getting on a treadmill and moving. The main objective of a warm-up should be to, number 1, increase your core body temperature and also to warm up your joints. So why not get on a treadmill and simply walk for 10 to 15 minutes? And by doing that, you're able to get an extra 1,000 to 1,500 steps by doing 10 to 15 minutes. And consequently, you can do the same post-workout by doing another 10 to 15 minutes warm down. And that way you easily, if you're doing 15 minutes on both ends, get a total of 3,000 steps. And if you're doing the walking between sets, and that's an extra 2,000 steps, you can get 5,000 steps at the gym without doing any intentional formal cardio. Now, that's not all. Normally, when you want to go to the gym, there is a travel time that's required. I highly recommend, if you have the opportunity, and this is something that I do, and all the advice here that I give you is things that I do, is if you have the ability, walk to the gym and walk back. My gym is 10 to 15 minutes away, so I know I will get 1,000 steps going to the gym, and I will get another 1,000 steps coming back, and that's another easy 2,000 steps that you can do. And everything I'm talking about here is an intelligent way of boosting the second biggest factor of your overall metabolism. We know the biggest factor that takes about 70% of our total daily energy expenditure is going to be our NEAT, which stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. By being able to boost up your steps, you're boosting this factor, the biggest factor that takes about 10 to 15% of your total metabolism, and you're maximizing that ability. What I also specifically love about walking is that it's a task that allows you to multitask. So you don't only have to be walking and doing nothing else. You can be watching a series, you can be talking to your partner, or you can be sending messages, but we'll talk about that later. With that being said, I've now launched a new division at my company, Sculpt by Science, Peak CEO. Our main objective is to be able to work with CEOs and leaders in their industry to be able to optimize their overall sleeping routine so that you can make your entire processes better. You can improve your mental focus and you can gain an edge on your competition. We will focus in on your nutrition and dialing that in according to your gut and optimizing your overall immune system. We'll also be focusing on your training techniques so that you can build muscle and improve your overall testosterone levels and your entire hormonal profile. What we're also incorporating in Peak CEO is something that I call Peak Health, which involves all the aspects and all the metabolism metrics that I will track to be able to optimize you as the leader of your company. With so much more, we'll be able to build muscle, lose fat, optimize our sleep, and you'll be able to have so much energy and so much mental focus throughout your entire operation with us. This will allow you to become a 2.0 version of yourself. So if you finally want to have that confidence you never had to be able to lead your company, double your energy, improve your body composition, and get yourself to single-digit body fat, working with myself directly, and you want to speak to me about how we can improve your overall peak performance, I am going to be picking 5 people. All you need to do is click the first link in the description and then apply to work with me as your personal coach and the first 5 people to join me at Peak CEO. Fill it out and I am looking forward to speaking to you. Let's move on into the next tip. With that, the first thing that I always recommend for all my busy professionals and for anybody is to buy an under the desk treadmill. This could be the best investment you can make into yourself right after nutrition. An under the desk treadmill or a walking pad can be used anywhere at home. If you're a person who wants to be watching Netflix or you're watching a series with your loved ones, instead of seated at a couch, you can do exactly like I do and have it next to your couch and walk while you're watching an episode or walk after you've had a meal. Something else you can do is that instead of just being in a meeting and being seated, you can walk during a 60-minute meeting and get 6,000 steps. An under the desk treadmill has been the cheat code that I've advised every single client who's ever worked with me to be able to boost their overall productivity, and an easy way to conveniently hit that 15,000 to 20,000 step mark. And this happens with all of my clients and I'm showing you them here. I might even just take a minute so you can hear it for yourself of what Shannon, Gary, everybody, Avalon has had to say about getting an under the desk treadmill or their productivity working with me.
And this is pretty much my story. I pretty much came here. I was struggling with my weight, going up and down. I went on a limb and wanted to try this program out, and it's pretty much the best thing I've done. I've reached new heights. I've actually got to a weight where last time I was this weight, I was literally in high school.
Last week I was at 13,000. The week before I was at 14,000 steps. As you can see, I'm in my office. I actually even have a treadmill at my desk. And so that's how I accomplished it.
And again, it's a $300 investment. You can put it anywhere at home and it just makes it so convenient. You can wake up early and get a morning walk without having to go in the hot or in the cold depending on the temperature. It leaves no excuses for you to be able to get your results. Again, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. I can only stress so much over a video how vital that will be. And what's amazing is not only do you have to use it, anybody in your family can use the treadmill to be able to get more steps and to burn more fat. The next step is simply waking up 30 minutes earlier. And by simply doing a 30-minute earlier wake time, you can go for a morning walk if you have to go outside if you don't have an under the desk treadmill, or it can allow you to get more tasks done in the morning and then finally find a gap to have that 30-minute walk, and this will give you an easy 3,000 steps. But this is usually the trick with all of my high performers, is waking up early, getting your boost of endorphins, and also finding mental clarity by going on this early morning walk, and you'll feel so much better. Your body will feel so much better to tackle the day by waking up early and doing 3,000 steps easy. Now, if you're someone who's like, Dr. Mike, I don't have time, how can I hit that 10 to 20,000 steps? The next recommendation, and this is only under the circumstance that you're under a time crunch, and this may go contrary to what I was saying, but go for a 15-minute jog. Now, your usual walk pace will be about 3 miles per hour, and that will get you in 10 minutes 1,000 steps. But what if I wanted to go 10 minutes and get 2,000 steps? You simply just have to double your speed. So if you go for a 15-minute jog at 6 miles per hour, you can get 3,000 steps as a result. And this is something that I do if I'm very pressed for time. And this is the one advantage of being able to go to a higher heart rate. I would recommend going as high as 140 beats per minute. By doing a 15-minute jog in the gym, you can easily go from 1,500 steps that you'd usually do to 3,000. So if that jog is what I see as an accelerator or a booster if necessary. Now, the next one is going to be controversial, but if the shoe fits, I am only saying this for your own benefit. The average person has a screen time of 7 hours, which is equivalent to 420 minutes. And if we're doing the math, that's equivalent to 42,000 steps if you just didn't touch your phone and instead walk. So a general rule that I've set for myself is 2 things, is that if I ever am using my phone, I need to be walking, and you'll find yourself grabbing your phone and establishing this habit of just walking around between the text time, if you're watching a YouTube video, just set yourself this level of gamification of walking. The other benefit is it may discourage you and decrease your overall watch time on your phone if you don't need to be on your phone that long scrolling over Instagram or social media and catching up with posts. But if you do, then you can do so guilt-free, knowing that you're doing so and also contributing to your overall health. And then my final tip for you is walk whenever you can. With all my clients, I do a time audit of their entire day. So instead of driving, find opportunities when it'd be amazing for you to walk instead. And just doing this will simply make you a healthier person overall. But something that I've seen even doing walking challenges within my community and with all my clients is that it allows them to be more conscious of their overall movement, and they actually start feeling weird, maybe I might even say sick or uncomfortable if their body hasn't moved as much as they're used to. So my point is, and what I'm doing is I'm encouraging you to set this challenge for yourself. Set yourself the 10K challenge, set yourself the 15K challenge, and just try and walk every day. What I've seen at bare minimum at the end of the month, if you are struggling to hit 8,000, your new normal may even be 12,000 by being more conscious of your walking overall. And if you're curious to know what your average walk time is, I highly recommend going to your Samsung Health or your Health app on the iPhone and just check in there and look at your steps to see what your weekly and your monthly average is. It will surprise you. And if you're seeing that that number is under 8,000, then already you're finding an indicator to your main problem. Let me know in the comment section down below, how many steps are you walking? How has walking impacted your life? Has it helped you? Have you not seen any difference with it? And I also wanted to make a note. Very soon I will be establishing a community with all of you and an opportunity for you guys to be able to work with me in the future. I am building out the course for it so you can be able to have easy access to the information, but there'll be so much more, and just hold tight. But I'll leave the video here. I hope that it was helpful. I want this to be the most important video I've ever made because it's the easiest exercise anybody can do. So simply leave the video the gentle thumbs up if you found it useful or informative, and comment down below how many steps you're getting and how walking has helped you. And I'll see you on the other side. Cheers.